Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Commander, tough rules, and cool interactions, episode 156. Today's episode is going to take a continued look at the combat phase, specifically when creatures have certain requirements or restrictions on them for how the combat has to unfold. This will be building off of the recent Tough Rules and Cool Interactions episode, number 154, so be sure to watch that one so that this episode makes a little more sense. But for reference, attacking and blocking requirements and restrictions are covered in the comprehensive rules in section 508.1 and 509.1. I'm going to go through some scenarios pretty quick on this one, not going to spend too much time on them, based on the info covered in that earlier episode. And fans of bonus questions will have two at the end, so be sure to stick around for those. Now let's jump into the first scenario. Breaker of Armies is a creature that says, all creatures able to block Breaker of Armies do so. And then there's the classic Silent Arbiter, which is a creature that says no more than one creature can attack each combat, and no more than one creature can block each combat. If you attack with your Breaker while your opponent controls the Arbiter and two other creatures, what is the result? Do all three of defending players' creatures block the Breaker, or can only one of them? Or perhaps do these conflicting statements, do these things cancel each other out? And the result can be either one blocker, two blockers, three blockers, or even zero blockers. One possible giveaway to this is that the Breaker does say the words able to, and the static ability on the Arbiter makes it so that they are all not able to block the Breaker, but only just one. As was covered in the previous episode, in a nutshell, all restrictions must be obeyed, and then as many requirements as possible must be met. So in this case, the Arbiter is applying a restriction as to how many creatures can block, and the Breaker has a requirement. Zero blockers doesn't violate the Arbiter, but does fail to satisfy part of the Breaker. One blocker doesn't violate the Arbiter, and at the same time it satisfies part of the Breaker. Then, with two or three blockers, it doesn't matter how much of the Breaker it is satisfying because it violates the Arbiter. So those two are not valid choices. So your only option to go with is one blocker. Next scenario, you control Fighter class, which is a class that when on level 3, it has the triggered ability of whenever a creature you control attacks, up to one target creature blocks it this combat if able. And then you also control a Professional Face Breaker, which is a creature with Menace that means that it can't be blocked except by two or more creatures. The class sets up a requirement for blocking. And then, what is Menace? Is it a requirement that says that the creature must be blocked by two or more creatures? No. It is a restriction for if it is blocked, then it cannot be blocked by less than two creatures. So in this scenario, when you attack with your Menace Facebreaker, if they assign no blockers, then the restriction hasn't been violated. However, the requirement from the class has not been met. If you assign only the creature that the class targeted, then we have met the requirement from the class, yet the restriction from the Menace has been violated. This means that the only option is for both the creature forced to block from the class and their second creature must block as well for your Menace creature. So your class is getting a bit of extra value, something to keep in mind when building a deck around a commander with Menace. For the next scenario, let's use the Facebreaker again, but this time you have enchanted him with an Alpha Authority, which says that the enchanted creature has hexproof and can't be blocked by more than one creature. So we've already clarified that Menace is a restriction and not a requirement, but what is Alpha Authority? Is it a restriction or a requirement? Looking at the wording, we can see the word can't show up, and that very much means it's a restriction kind of a word. So what does this mean if your alpha authority is on a creature with Menace? It can't be blocked by more than one creature, but it also can't be blocked by less than 2 creatures. So what does that mean? Well, it means that practically speaking, not technically, but practically, basically, you have a creature that has been enchanted with Aqueous Form that says that the enchanted creature can't be blocked. That is why Alpha Authority shows up so much in decks that have Lathril, Blade of the Elves at the helm, because her combat damage trigger is almost all but certain to happen when she is enchanted with that card. Now on to some bonus questions. For new viewers unfamiliar with these, provide your answers down in the comments below, even if you have no clue, and even if you're quite certain that you are wrong. I will reply to your answers after giving people some time to provide their own answers. It can be helpful for myself, but also for other people to see players' thought processes for right and for wrong answers, so that way we can better reply to them when we encounter them live during a game and have seen them before. I control a Dirkwood Boars that is enchanted with Pimen's Aura, and then I attack you with it. You assign your Brimaz, King of Oreskos, as a blocker, something that I didn't expect because I didn't think that you'd let him die in combat. But maybe you really want to kill my boar. But I do really want him, your Brimaz, to die in combat. But I also don't want to lose my boars. Brimaz says that whenever he blocks a creature, create a 1/1 White Cat Soldier creature token with Vigilance that's blocking that creature. So I can't just use the -1/+1 to save my boars from the aura, as then they wouldn't have enough power to kill Brimaz. So can I do this? After you assigned Brimaz as a blocker, he triggers to put that 1/1 blocker into play. But with that ability still on the stack, I give my boars flying, use the Pimen's Aura. This way, my 4 power still kills your Brimaz, your 3 power on Brimaz doesn't kill my boars, and your 1/1 token can't come in and block my boars because he's now got flying, or I guess I should say they, the boars, now have flying, and your token has neither flying nor does it have reach. Haha! You have fallen right into my trap. Next, follow-up bonus question. I attack with Changeling Outcast, which says that he can't block, but also can't be blocked. You then cast Flash Foliage, which is an instant that has Oracle text on it, something you won't see on the card itself, but it does have Oracle text saying, cast this spell only during combat after blockers are declared. And then it also has the effect of create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token that's blocking target creature attacking you. Now, will that 1/1 sapperling token be able to block my creature that says it can't be blocked? Have the tables turned and now I have fallen into your trap? Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. Please hit me up with any of your own tricky combat scenarios. There are a lot of crazy requirements and restrictions out there, and in certain combinations, they can be very difficult to figure out. Can you think of any scenarios in which there are multiple options that are correct? Not just one right answer. There's some situations where you could do this one, or this one, and all 3 of them would actually be a correct scenario or a correct result in which you're not violating any restrictions, but you are still satisfying the most possible requirements. I look forward to seeing what all you guys come up with, and I look forward to seeing your answers to these 2 bonus questions. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta. And yes, this video almost did not happen. I've been super addicted to playing Stalker 2. Very, very addicted. It's actually 12:50 a.m. right now as I'm recording this audio, so I have got a lot of editing to do. And it's freezing cold in this room, so hope you guys did enjoy this one. And anybody playing Stalker, I hope you guys are enjoying that. Have a good one. Ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. Yeah, okay.